recognize the Minister of Social Services.
Mr. Speaker, it gives me pleasure to rise today to move second reading of the Accessible Saskatchewan Act. This bill represents an important step in creating a more inclusive and accessible province for all people in Saskatchewan. This bill, if passed, will prevent and remove barriers for people in Saskatchewan who identify as having disabilities. Mr. Speaker, in 2017, Canadian survey on disability indicated that persons with disabilities make up approximately 24.3% of our population. 7 years ago, our government introduced Saskatchewan's disability strategy, a 10-year plan to create an inclusive province for persons with disabilities. One of the recommendations was to create accessible communities for all. In the 2019 throne speech, we committed to consulting with Saskatchewan residents on accessibility legislation. Later that same year, we committed to introducing this new legislation in Saskatchewan's Grow Plan because we understand that accessibility and inclusivity are key to growing our province's future for everyone. In February of 2021, we engaged with the public and the disability community on what the act should look like. Mr. Speaker, I'm pleased to provide some of the highlights in this proposed legislation. The government of Saskatchewan will take the lead. The proposed legislation will apply to government first, including rolling out an accessibility plan for how government will remove and prevent barriers that persons with disabilities experience when they interact with government. As we proceed on this journey, we will remain committed to the principle of nothing about us without us, and we will continue to engage with persons with disabilities on this important work. The bill provides for an accessibility advisory committee to be appointed, with at least half the members being persons with disabilities or from organizations that represent persons with disabilities. This committee will advise the government on the development of accessibility standards. A Saskatchewan Accessibility Office will be established to administer this new legislation. One of the office's primary responsibilities will be to increase public awareness and understanding of the new legislation and its aim to remove barriers for Saskatchewan people. In this bill, we propose to formally recognize sign languages as the main form of communication for persons who are deaf. This recognition promotes the inclusion of the deaf community and recognizes their unique culture. We understand that it's critical to show accountability on this important work. An annual report will be published on the actions taken to implement the new legislation. Mr. Speaker, the Accessible Saskatchewan Act will allow government to create accessible standards through regulations in the following areas in the future: the built environment, information and communications, employment, transportation, service animals, procurement, and service delivery. This will take time, but it's important we do this work properly. The Accessible Saskatchewan Act will be enabling legislation that will complement and fill gaps in existing legislation. It's not intended to duplicate any existing pieces of legislation, and it will build on the requirements in the Saskatchewan Human Rights Code. Our government will continue to engage with the public, persons with disabilities, and the private sector to develop these standards. Mr. Speaker, we're working to create a Saskatchewan where persons with disabilities can fully participate because a strong province is one where everyone's included. So, Mr. Speaker, I now move second reading of the Accessible Saskatchewan Act. Thank you.
It has been moved that bill number 103 be now read a second time. Is Sunday ready for the question? I recognize the member from Regina Douglas Park.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's my honor to join into the debate on Bill 103, the Accessible Saskatchewan Act. I'd like to join with members on both sides in welcoming all of the folks who are here in the gallery today who I know have worked closely with government on getting this legislation introduced in the fashion that it is. We all know that it's very important to have an accessible and inclusive province, and there's so much work that needs to be done to make that the case in Saskatchewan. I particularly wanted to note and thank the committees and the groups for all of the work that they've been doing in this area over the past several years. And I particularly wanted to note that when the minister mentioned recognizing sign language as an official language, I noticed how moving that was to those in the gallery and how important that is to those in the community. We're very happy to see that happen. I know that our critic, the member for Regina Elphinstone will be doing work reaching out to the community to get their feedback on the bill, hear their thoughts about the legislation. I encourage anyone who has thoughts on the bill to reach out to our critic, the member for Regina Elphinstone, to allow her to continue to do that good work and allow others to join in on the debate on later days. I am prepared now to move to adjourn debate on Bill 103. Thank you.
Members move to adjourn debate. As it says, Assembly to adopt the motion. Carries.